Imagine knowing that someone you've never met, is always watching. They know where you live, they know your children's names, they know the secrets of your home better than you do. How would you feel? What would you do? That's what happened with an unsuspecting suburban family, their dream of having the perfect house becoming a nightmare. Do you want to know what happened next? Like the video and learn more about the New Jersey's Watcher. In 2014, Derek and Maria were ready to start a new chapter in their lives. A new city, a new home, a place to raise 3 kids and grow old together. The house had endless potential. With some renovations, it would be perfect. But little did they know that someone else was also deeply linked to the place. Their nightmare started with a simple letter. No return address. Labeled only, the new owner. It was welcoming at first. Dear new owner of 657 Boulevard, welcome to our charming neighborhood of Westfield, New Jersey. But then, what came after such pleasant introduction made Derek's blood freeze. Something crawled up his skin. The letter said, My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. Derek looked around, panicking. There was a woman walking her dog, an old man tending his garden, but no one suspicious. He kept reading the letter. I see already that you have flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be. Bad move. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy. After even citing their kids, calling them young bloods, the letter ended in such a casual manner that it felt even more terrifying. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. Let the party begin. The Watcher. When Derek showed Maria the letter, her blood pressure dropped. Pale, she sat on the couch and asked her husband to immediately call the police. But what could they do? The officer who showed at their house said they would be vigilant, but there wasn't much to go on at the moment. Their only way to deal with it was through denial. It was probably a prank by kids. It would go away soon. Or so they thought. When the contractors came to start the renovations, strange things started to happen. When a painter started working on the exterior walls, he called Derek with a troubled voice. Sir, I don't know what is happening, but the paint isn't adhering to the surface. It seems to work at first, but after a couple minutes, it just drips down the wall. When Derek returned home, he witnessed the phenomenon. The painter didn't have a logical answer for what was happening. Frustrated and scared, he grabbed the bucket and tossed it on the wall, making a big splash. A moment later, all that paint was already being absorbed by the garden soil. Maria made an appointment with a specialist, but they couldn't wait. There was much work to do. A new team came in the next day to tear down a wall to make more space for the kitchen. It was a simple drywall. All they needed to do was hitting the structure. But it did not work. Strong workers, used to the job, slammed the heavy hammer multiple times against the wall. Is it brick? Derek questioned. No, sir. But even if it were, it should be down by now. We don't know what is happening. Again, he felt this creeping sensation on his skin. He recalled the letter. Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Then, suddenly, he felt like being watched. Not by the workers, not by someone lurking. Watched by the house itself. With another day of renovations frustrated, Derek and Maria tried their best to live their lives as nothing was happening. They didn't tell the kids what was going on, just that the renovations would take longer than they expected. At night, any noise was enough to wake up the couple, with Derek rushing to make sure their children were safe. For 2 whole weeks they thought they were. That changed the morning a new letter arrived, labeled now not as the new owner, but addressing every family member by name. Maria found it first and froze in place. I am pleased to know your names now and the name of the young blood you have brought to me. All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the Watcher, and have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. If those words weren't scary enough, one specific part made Maria's heart skip a beat. The letter said, "Will the young blood play in the basement? Or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream." It took some time for her to catch her breath. Then, she just charged. Closed every window and every curtain, grabbed her phone and called her mother. Trying to sound as normal as possible, she asked,
"Hey Mom, can the kids sleep there tonight?"
When Derek arrived, she showed him the letter. His reaction was the same. Absolute terror. Again he called the police, but they dismissed their fears as an elaborated prank. Then they called the previous owners, who said they never received any letter like that.
"Oh, except for,"
the old man recalled.
"when we were moving out, we did receive a strange letter, but nothing worrisome. It said only, 'We're sad you're going.' The only strange thing is that it was signed as the Watcher."
That was the tipping point for the couple. They needed to know what was happening. They couldn't do much investigation after the night fell, but there was something Derek could do. Check the basement. Trying to disguise his fear from himself, he turned the pale light on and went down the stairs. As they were yet in the process of moving, it was almost empty. Only some boxes of things that probably would never be taken out. Old memories, simpler times. Besides that, there wasn't much to uncover. Darkened floor, dust, a faint light coming out of the small horizontal window. And the walls. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Forcing himself to move, Derek walked closer to a part of the wall that seemed different from the rest. It was a lighter tone of paint forming a rectangle, almost like a covered-up door. Reluctantly, he pressed his ear against it and felt it colder than it should be, almost freezing. Behind it, a whisper, a mutter, a voice. The lights went out, making Derek jump scared. He looked again at the wall, but the rectangle could not be seen in the dark. He turned to go back to the stairs when he saw it. 2 bare feet, just outside the window, casting 2 huge shadows in the dead of night. He screamed. He fell to the ground. Maria came immediately and turned on the lights. "What are you doing here?" she asked. But Derek couldn't answer. The feet were gone. The wall had nothing suspect about it. No different tone. Nothing. It was just a house. Just a house. 657 Boulevard. The next day, the couple decided to sell the property. They charged less than half of what they paid for it. They didn't care. All they wanted was to be free from the nightmare, from the fear, from the Watcher. Years after what happened, the house is still there. If the new owners were contacted by the strange figure, they did not tell. Can they be too afraid of telling the truth? Or did the house finally find the perfect family to shelter? Maybe we will never know the answer. If you enjoyed learning this story about inexplicable mysteries in our world, please like the video, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. See you next.